we are now in a very interesting month now because it's getting to the summer. That means that many things might slow down, and so there's a lot of people that is trying to speed up stuff. So you have like those two things happening at the same time. I don't know. How would you define in a word this last month for you?
Um, it's like to put it in one word. First of all, thank you again, guys. This is like one of the things that I really like. The highlight of the month is to come and share with you guys here and with the audience. In one word, I would say blooming.
Beautiful word. I love that one.
Well, I wanted to use actually exploding, but then it has a little bit of a negative connotation.
Okay, so blooming is the same as positive exploding.
Yeah, exactly.
What does that mean then for you, Andres?
Like many things are starting to pop up, and which is great because that's exactly what's happening in spring, right? We just entered summer 8 days ago, so like a lot happening in spring. So all the sprouts, all the seedlings, all the like metaphorically, of course, and then in business also the same. And the more and more we go into this beautiful game and beautiful dance, we realize that there is many things why a company that undergoes to its own journey makes it happens or not. In this sense, for example, in our specific case, or at least personally for Favamole and Andres, what I've been seeing and yeah, finding out is like, companies and people work with you because of the time you are being known. So, okay, you already, like the first years of a startup, you make a lot of noise. You are excited, you are here, and then everyone's just like, yeah, you can be in the word of mouth of a lot of people, a lot of
Hmm.
attention is coming. And then it's like, okay, maybe not a lot of deals or maybe some opportunities. And then second year comes and then it's less, maybe less marketing, less screaming because it's more hands-on. And then there is a lot of people curious about it and to taste it, to work with you and everything. But then they have experienced a lot of other companies actually not making it. So they are very aware, not in fear, just aware, cautious that if they want to work with a company, that if they are going to invest in a relationship, that they want this relationship to also last. So it's not that they are not interested in you; it's just that they're just um, let's say wanted to have the a little bit of the certainty that you're going to be there and to be able to deliver within the time. So the more and more I speak with companies, chef, farmers, it's just like, the first year is great, the second year like great for exposure, the second year you're like, okay, everyone likes the project, but where are the sales, where are the things? And then you start getting some here and there. And then you go like second, third year, that is like the valley of death. That there is the time where a lot of startups actually make it or not. And if you go through, then it's like then companies are started to see you and like, actually this is a company that it's here to stay longer. So now let's start working with. And doesn't matter which most in food, because that's the field in which we're playing. That this is something that I have heard several times from different people, like in the different chains of the supply chain, in the different links of the supply chain. Sorry.
Right now, where do you see yourself in? No, you explained these stages. Obviously, you're not in the first part of completely new, so maybe you're more in like a middle part. But since you mentioned this moment of going through the valley of death, I don't know if you see yourself already stepping uh, It's like putting some feet in the valley, or if you can still say, okay, I'm not there yet. It's really good that you are aware of the existence of such a phase, but at the same time, does it help you to prepare for that phase, or is not something you can really prepare for?
Well, it's like this of like 1, 2, 3 years. There's just like average in which
Yeah,
companies
it's
goes,
a framework.
Exactly. And then depends on like it can happen that to you or to your company that you go earlier or not, and then but that's more or less like as you said, like the average, the framework of like, okay, if you go through after this amount of years, then you're like you are doing something good. There is people already trusting you, so there are more people, therefore more people started to trust you more. So that's just basically the game, which actually, if you zoom out of it, out of production, out of it's basically to once more remind yourself that you're working with people and the game is trust. So then it's like to really trust that then that you're going to be there, that you are doing the right thing, that you're showing up for you and for your company, and it's going to really give what people quote unquote expect from what you are offering, which in our case it's helping others.
Hmm. And then for each of the partners, let's say like that, stakeholders or where you work with, it differs, right? So then on this in that side, like you build trust, but you're also a startup, so um, you want to like how you say differentiate yourself into the market and also to these different partners, I would say, like farmers, but also like let's say retailers or the wholesalers that can stock your product. They have been having what you already said before, many different other startups already, yeah, um, approaching them. How is your way of building trust with, for instance, a wholesaler?
Mm, that is a from my experience, that's a different game, because then of course then you have the relationship with your category manager, with your incorporator, with your buyer, but then you also have your relationship with the restaurant or with the catering company that is buying from you through them. So then in that sense it's just not about seeing them as the partnership, but then started to see the whole ecosystem as the partnership and how different, let's put it like this, how in like in farming, how different microorganisms work together in order for the ecosystem to actually thrive, knowing that every different microorganism has a different role and fills a different purpose, which is what makes the ecosystem thrive. So then, in that sense, to have a great relationship with your restaurant or your catering company that is the one that will be putting um, the orders inside the wholesaler, then that just uh, and on by being in the wholesaler as well creates also the opportunity to other companies that might not be aware of your existence yet.
Hmm.
So then also the wholesaler is just not a logistic partner, but also like a platform partner that allows the discovery of others of from others to you. So then, and then of course there is the then a different another layer that is also how much are you willing to invest in this. So if you do marketing, how do you do marketing with, and let's put it in Chaco's question, with a wholesaler. So then other companies know that you're actually in the wholesaler through the channels that they communicate.
Yeah, so this is like an interesting one because I'm just thinking, let's say, like each of these partners, are they all as much as important to each other, or is there a level of importance? So what I want to go with this is like in that also equals in how much time you should actually spend in each of these players, right? Because you can spend a lot of time with the farmer, but if you do not sell anything on the other hand, you basically are not moving forward for your own startup. Do you have decided, first of all, if there's a difference in these levels, although they're all in the system, right? But there are differences in levels where you should spend more time with or not. And then also like, how does that look like? Like, what do you basically um, put on the paper to build that trust? Because it's not only words, right? It's also, in the end, you have to probably have some KPIs and they come back to you once in a while to discuss them.
Well, actually, that's very interesting because then in that sense, it's like, if you see again the natural time, let's put it like in winter and summer, no, like, and then spring and autumn. Then you go like spring, summer goes up, and then fall and winter goes down. So, like, if you follow the cycle, then you can go into an infinite shape,
Loop.
and then depend in infinite loop, exactly, in which you can really see where is the time in which people and companies and farmers do things. So then you know that in summer it's going to be less likely that you will have time to speak to a farmer. So then you check up on them. Hey, how's it going? And this is also something that I have also learned. And a feedback of a farmer was like, I don't feel that I belong to this. And I was just like, whoa, this was very, very shocking. So then it was just very nice to hear this. Well, now that I learned, at the moment, not really. But it was just like really because people want to feel that they are belonging.
Yeah.
So then how the plants are going, how they're going, they, like, if they have a child, if they had an incident, or they went to a conference, so that is also at the level of connection in which you do your relationship with the stakeholder, which is then goes more into a personal connection that actually you're just doing and working with them. And in that sense, in which time, well, already, if we go back to the infinite loop, that with farmers you can speak more in winter, and then they have more time because, like, it's lower season. With restaurants and caterings, they do their menus. They're already thinking for their menus in fall, so you're speaking already with them now, so you're not speaking with farmers right now. So then but you need to be in it, on it, to be able to really understand the dance and the frequency, and, like, the whole interaction of of how the ecosystem is moving.
But do you use a certain like system, or is this still feeling based as far as it can be? Because as much as you grow, you get also like your value network basically gets more and more, right?
Yeah.
So and if there is not I would say a system, you might end up forgetting to contact XYZ at a certain time. Yeah, because you're just way too busy in operational stuff.
No, it's now there is a system, but then of course it's at the very beginning is learning by doing, learning by screwing. So, and believe me, the more you screw, the better it is because you learn the most. And it's the most important is, like, it doesn't matter how much you fall. The most important is how many times you are actually able to stand up.
Yeah, exactly. Completely true. But this is very interesting. As you were talking before and explaining how build trust, the first thing that came to my mind is actually, Shaco mentioned, is building trust. What is building trust or building a relationship aside of, talking with the people? And as you were explaining it, Andres, I was kind of thinking that because I've never heard this from any other founder before. Like this idea of kind of treating the rest of the partners, like the people, stakeholders that contribute to with you as part of the community. Like when you build a community, you need to make sure that that you listen to them, and that they kind of stay involved in what they do. No, overall, when it comes to socials and stuff like that, that is something that is very, very fostered. But when you were explaining it, I was imagining like, oh, okay, it makes a lot of sense that when you are also progressing, that you with your wholesaler or with restaurants stuff like that, you can also share with them like, oh yeah, Favamole is growing. What do you think about this? No, maybe not necessarily approaching them in a so- social network kind of way, but in a way that I know you do that is more genuine. But because in the end, no, these people are people, no, they're not like companies or entities. They are people that like to feel heard, that like to feel that what they are doing actually have a positive impact into something else. But this also, in some way, picture a little bit like the way that you're approaching to this, or is this something that I just made up in my mind what you were talking?
No, actually, that is like is perfect. Like you really put it perfectly in words. And then it's also something that I realized in the past weeks, that sometimes when you enter so much in doing mode, then you tend to forget that it's also there is also the human mode, like, or like, relationship mode, in which it's just not about the work, but it's also the people that you're working with, not necessarily your employee, co-founder, or whatever, but also like every person that is somehow intertwined or interconnected to the ecosystem that you're working on. And to for that, I will give you a great example. We did with Hotel de School, the Hague. They wanted to give something to Favamole, because Andres has been working with them for quite some years now, and then they wanted to do something, and still to help us with the. I'm just going to share it, but to give us something with the like. They wanted to do a donation event, charity, to raise funds for Famole.
Very cool.
And then I thought like, okay, this is great, but this is already like 3 months ago. So then it's like, it's a little bit out of topic, and is to bring back a topic that is like, what, it is really worth to bring this back for us to raise a couple of thousand of euros. But they wanted to give us this, and we felt like, okay, enjoy anything is given, and instead of putting like this, can we reframe it into something that is actually uh, giving instead of receiving? So then, like, okay, what can we do actually in order to, instead instead of getting something out, we give something back? So then I propose something like, okay, guys, what if we do a dinner to celebrate the supply chain of Amole? So then we invite all the people that has been participating and in somehow involved in this year and a half that we have been running. And we don't charge, we just like anyway, uh, yeah, give it to them, because like if already the, let's say, the university was going to put the money, and then we're going to set the tickets, so might as well already just give it back to the people that have been working and giving to us so much without asking anything in this past year. So a way to celebrate the ecosystem in which it has given us, in which it has given us a lot. So this is what we did last week. And we invited chef, farmers, investors, institutions, restaurants, caterers. A lot of people came. Not everyone could come. And then also we didn't have like 100. We had, it was like a small gathering, but it was just more like to really bring people that had been somehow since the beginning and had helped us be where we are today. And I remember the words of one of the chef of one of the chefs that was just like, normally they don't invite us to these events, so I'm really grateful with you that you invite us to do this. And I was just like, whoa, I never thought about that, and how many people, and just by giving them and really sharing with them, like, hey guys, thank you for anything you're doing. It could be your job, you do it for joy, you do it because of whatever reason, but like, we just want to thank you for everything that you have done so far. And it felt like a great success, because you can really actually see all the different stakeholders in front of each other, and you can really see, whoa, look at this beautiful ecosystem that is now being born.
Really well thought, Andres. Seriously, like precisely that was what I was trying to tackle. So whatever I put into words, you did much better by putting into into an actual practical thing. And basically, I believe that this is important because I, when you mention building relationships, I believe that for some people that can feel sometimes or disingenuous or they don't know where to start. Like what is supposed to, so shall I be asking my chef how is their family doing from time to time, and and I understand that those things for some people can feel forced, but it doesn't feel forced when you just put it in the way of, yeah, you just involve them into whatever you're doing, like just let them know the impact that they are having into your work, no, because that is definitely something that they will make, they will want to have a track on how are you doing, and let maybe they feel like also like, oh, I really want to help more, no, and do more for you.
But is that maybe not a misconception what you just there addressed, what maybe a lot of founders have? So when they talk with the wholesaler, retail, whatever, like these more commercialized market entry partners, let's say it like that, they tend to go too quickly into the actual numbers and yeah, like the commercial side of things. I forget maybe that there's just a person on front of the table that you also maybe can have a dinner with, a coffee, and talk about like life besides besides what you have as a business. What do you think, Andres? Is that a founder's?
I feel that this is very important to always, like, you, even though if you enter as a startup and then you have a meeting with a wholesaler or with like category manager or purchaser or like any person, if you know that you have availability of time or willingness to incorporate this conversation within the framework of the meeting, I will definitely encourage to do it, because then it doesn't have to be like the whole meeting is, you have a meeting of 30 minutes, then you can still speak 5, 10 minutes, 7 minutes before the meeting starts about, like, hey, small things, and then eventually by repetition and by going again and again, then the trust we start building, like, it's you don't build trust in the first, unless someone really recommended you, so then trust is already pre-built because someone is already trusting you. So if someone trusts you, that then they trust, most likely they will trust you. But then if there is not that link or like that bridge, then it just takes time to build.
What has been for you the most challenging part in building that first trust without having the indirect component, what you just explained, right, of introduction?
uh, I would say that, like, being able to put it in the right timing. Sometimes it happened to me that I wanted to, I've been doing it with many people, and then there was specifically this case in which I wanted to speak with this person. I keep it a little bit vague because I don't want to like.
Oh, I
Uh,
totally understand.
and then we had a really wonderful conversation. We connected a lot, and then by the end of the conversation, I put out a little bit of like an idea, and then at the end of the meeting, I thought like, maybe I was a little bit too early because, but it was just a feeling. So and then it's also like, you know what, I'm just rehearsing the whole meeting in my mind, and it's just like, oh shit, I should have not tell it. But then I cannot do anything. The only thing I can really do is to really change the outcome of the reframing of the rehearsing it in my mind. So instead of saying it like, it was bad timing, it's like, no, it is what I wanted to do. But then the more you do it, and you're clumsy, because when you're doing these things you can be clumsy and it's fine, then you get better at it. But then, yeah, I would say it's patience.
When you think about
Uh,
this last month, what is so? Since we're talking about challenges, what has been like the biggest challenge for you this last month?
To really, well, in the past months, I've been working a lot in investments, to finalizing like the relationship with farmers, learning a lot, and studying a lot about how to increase my skills. Then the challenge it's the yeah, how to enter like the sale if there is no warm introduction. It's like you just do like a cold email, you just call them, like, what do you do? Because of course, everyone and every company is with want to sell, and in order to sell it is how the business survive. And then it's like, how do you do this? Then of course, then you see, again from experience, in the first everyone is really open, but then they go to the regular days routine, and then it's like, oh, everyone's very busy. So but then that's also the dance.
I completely get it. I believe that yeah, anything that is called sales, called approach, called I completely. A lot of times I can also struggle. Like
you know,
I like breaking that ice is hard. Huh?
it is basically because we're talking here about relationships, and I think for all three of us, a relationship is not cold. So the word cold is putting so much emphasis on something that is actually so far away. We like more a relationship that has been already a bit further to us. We want to know more about the person, and we just don't want to like sell and reach. Like I had this talk with a personal coach because I struggle with the thing as well. Like cold calling. I says like, but for you, the word cold is just a problem. Like the word cold is putting in your head something that is like not aligned with how you feel what a relationship should be. Because you also think about the person. You think about much more than just that cold email or cold call that you want to send.
No, that's actually a great way to frame it, because then it's like, if you take the word out of your, like, how you feel while you're writing something, then your email or any way of communication becomes immediately warmer. So then the frequency and the energy that you're sending, it's already warmer. So then people also feel it.
Yeah,
So that is like one of the things of the month. Then also, I will share with you something. So we have news for the after summer. So we're like listed in a retailer. I cannot say the name, but we're coming there uh, to the supermarkets.
I'm coming there as well to buy my
Yeah,
produce.
me too.
Well, only Favamole for now.
And then, yeah, they were doing great work with when they say less is more. We got actually simplify. One of the things is very interesting because by taking out some ingredients of Favamole Classic, we got a new flavor,
Hmm.
which is actually literally the best thing of like to follow the advice of less is more, literally. Because then like we were thinking about like, the flavor classic. What is classic if Favamole is new? So
True.
then we so we were just like, okay, what if we actually just take the uh, some ingredients and then we put like Favamole natural.
I was
So
thinking
it's
it's
like,
like it was going to be natural.
Ah, yeah,
I
yeah.
was already thinking that like, oh, you could call
Yeah,
it
yeah,
Favamol
yeah.
natural.
yeah,
And then you let the people at home or whatever do what they want.
exactly, and also give even more versatility to chef because then have a base that they have a
Yeah.
base that they can just
Can
put
tune.
whatever they
Yeah.
want and then top it up. So like still give the versatility and the creativity for a chef that doesn't want to pre-soak cook legumes, but they has already something. Um, and then the green one would be more like coriander or like so in that sense, by taking out an ingredient, we now make another flavor.
For a moment, I thought you were going to say Favamol and Favamol Zero, no? Because they were saying classic.
Yeah.
It
I was
sounds like
like,
Coca Cola.
I was thinking he was saying we took out the fava beans and put guacamole, like
Avocado.
avocados in it.
We start making a hybrid now, so it's fava
Yeah,
mole.
we were making eye, but now I was like, he's gonna do it.
No,
Uh,
very cool, very cool. But the theory is that whenever it's in retail, people will find the Favamol Classic, no? Or the idea is that both would be available, or maybe that's not something you can disclose so far.
No, the idea is that there is also one of the things that it's feedback on also like really advice from people in retail is telling us, guys, retail doesn't want two, two SKUs. They want a whole line.
yeah,
So, and we had this conversation in the past, like, if you go with two products, then it's like yes or no. And if you go with 7, 10, then it's like, okay, we like this five. So you already entered. So, and also things that going through. So we're going through, um, oh, I just lost the bin. Now I can. So we're going through a rebranding. So also one of the things that gave people gave us feedback, and also the retail was like, guys, really great product back. Like we want more vibrancy, we want more the communication. So like this is also something that a project of summer. So we're going to have a way more bold identity,
I'm very curious. Do you
and
want to?
also
Oh,
to bring it to
nice.
bring it back, in the trust conversation. We're also going to start working on our LCA. So this is also
Oh,
going to
nice.
bring more trust to the partners that we're working with to really see like the whole supply
Yeah,
chain, like the environmental benefits and where everything comes from.
nice. Andres, if there's still to end this, like, if there's still one thing you would like to share, like last message to founders in general about relationship building, what would it be?
Remember that this is just very cheesy, but I love it. Like alone you can go faster, together you go further.
It's very cheap,
So
you know.
but it's so true, man. It's like and I go back to the event that we had last week. Like I took the mic for a couple of minutes just to thank the whole crowd in front of me, and it was just such a beautiful moment. And it's an image that I will remember, because every time I would have a bad shitty day, I will just remember these people in front of me smiling and enjoying during this summer day. And it's going to be like, okay, this bad day between quotes, it's worth, because it's, because what we're really building and the people that is supporting us in the back. So, like, remember that you're not doing this alone, even though sometimes it can feel very lonely. But you know dare to ask, dare to share, and just like, again, just remember to have fun.
Nice.
As always, yeah.
Yeah, then I would say this is it. We have for sure something then to talk about. Maybe after the summer, but brand name, LCAs, you know, a
Taylor,
growing team to 50 people, no? And
marketing, all these things. So there is, yeah, there
oh,
is a lot of things happening during the summer.
nice.
Perfect, perfect. Then we will talk about it.
Yes.